Assalamu alaikum, children.
Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Haidar.
Wa alaikum salam, Pip.
And how are you today?
Alhamdulillah, I am so good. I am over the moon.
Well, I'm over the moon too.
Today's story is a very special story indeed.
Oh, another special story from Mr. Haidar. Who would have guessed it?
Are you being sarcastic, Pip?
No, I was just saying you tell you a lot of special stories.
Once upon a time, there was a man called Ibrahim.
Ibrahim.
And Ibrahim...
I know an Ibrahim.
Do you?
Yes.
Which Ibrahim do you know?
Ibrahim, my next door neighbour.
Oh, your neighbour?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
He helps me sometimes with my homework.
Is he a monster too?
Yes.
What colour is he?
Ultraviolet red.
Ultraviolet red.
Yes.
Wow, Pip. That is some friend you have there.
Yeah. Anyway, your story.
Anyway, my story. My story is about Prophet Ibrahim. Peace be upon him. Now, in his time, there lived a dreadful king called Nimrod.
Nimrod!
Nimrod!
Nimrod! Is that his Arabic name?
His Arabic name is Namrud.
Nimrod!
It sounds similar, doesn't it?
Nimrod.
Yeah, and yeah.
Like rod, but a nim at the beginning of the rod.
Kind of like a rod.
Like sim, but instead of a sim, it's got an N. Nimrod.
What is
Nimrod.
Simrod?
No, what are you talking about?
Back to the story.
Okay.
Now, Prophet Ibrahim was a very good and pious man, and he tried to spread goodness and love, and he tried to tell all the people of his time to live happily and to give in charity and to not tell lies. And Nimrod did not like that at all.
What a horrible man Nimrod was!
Yes. No, Prophet Ibrahim didn't like Nimrod either, because Nimrod was such a cruel and tyrannical king.
Yes.
He wanted to enslave all the people and make them worship many gods, when Ibrahim wanted to teach the people the truth, which is that there is only one God.
One God.
Yep.
And that is
Allah. Now, what happened is Nimrod became furious with Ibrahim. He was so angry that he ordered all the people to build a tremendous, a stupendous, a gigantic, a enormous,
bigger than your tie.
bigger than my tie,
Bigger than Mr. Haithar's tie.
bigger than my tie, fire.
Oh, that must be gigantic.
It was gigantinormous, Pip.
Gigantinormous. That's not a word.
You're right, Pip, that's not a real word.
Hmm.
We just made up a real, we just made up a new word.
No, you made it up.
Oh, just me. High five anyway.
I don't think you should make up words.
Maybe you're right, Pip.
Do you know what?
Yep.
In monster terms, that's like having 6,792 trisimotorotites.
You just made up a word, Pip.
No, I made up a monster. There's a difference.
Pip.
Can we continue with the story?
My point is, Pip, that the fire was very big.
Big.
Very big indeed.
Like me.
Now, Nimrod wanted to show all the people that this is the punishment if you try to do good deeds in my land.
Oh, what a horrible man, Nimrod!
He
if you're
was
watching at
awful.
home, you're a naughty, naughty man.
He was a very naughty man. Now, they had a problem. They couldn't approach the fire because the fire was so big, any of Nimrod's soldiers that went close to it would automatically burn.
Oh my God!
That's right.
That's
Nobody.
like the sun. You know you can't go near the sun.
Exactly, just like the sun.
Your pink shirt would burn.
My pink shirt.
Yes.
Oh no.
And your blue waist jacket would burn, and
Oh,
all
no.
the stars would burn, and the bow tie with pepperoni would burn.
Well, it wasn't quite as big as the sun, but it was similar. So anyone who approached the fire would burn automatically, and they just couldn't go near it.
They would turn to ash.
They would turn to ash in an instant because the fire was so big and so grand and so furiously hot.
Oh my God, it's so scary.
So the shaitan came to Nimrod and whispered in his ear like this. And do you know what the shaitan said to Nimrod? No.
But that's what you just whispered in my
I know.
ear.
I was doing that just to demonstrate
No, but
whispering.
you said Shaitan came to him and whispered in his ear.
Pip,
Yes.
I do forget how young you are sometimes, you know that?
Why? But you said just bish, bish, bish.
I know, but...
So Shaitan went to Nimrod and whispered in his ear, bish, 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 bish.
No, he didn't say bish, 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 bish exactly.
What did he say?
That's what whispering sounds like from far away.
Oh,
Okay.
say that.
Yeah, exactly. So what the shaitan actually said is,
Bish, 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 bish.
build a catapult.
A catapult.
Do you know what a catapult is?
Yes,
Go on then.
it's a catapult.
Yeah, what does it look like? What does it do?
Oh, what does it do? Well, it catapults things.
Pip, Imam Ali said, never feel ashamed to admit ignorance. Are you sure you know what a catapult is?
Well, obviously I know what a catapult is. A catapult is a catapult. You put a cat in a pult.
Pip,
Catapult.
that's a good guess. I
Okay,
kind of
maybe
wish
you're
that
right,
that was
Mustafa.
what it
Maybe
was.
sometimes I should admit that I don't know what I'm on about. What's a catapult, Mustafa?
Basically a catapult.
Sorry, what's a catapult, Mr. Haidar?
Yeah, so a catapult is this contraption, a kind of machine,
Yes.
where it has a big flinging thing, and you can basically put rocks into it, and it flings the rocks
You know
really
what?
far.
Wait, Mr. Haidar, you know what?
Yeah?
If you don't know, you just need to say you don't know.
Pip, I know what a catapult is.
Well, your description of it is very, very vague.
Okay, let me try again. A catapult is basically this kind of... It's a weapon that they used in medieval times.
A knife.
No, bigger than a knife. Okay, just imagine if you wanted to throw a really, really, really big rock, a boulder, which is like the size of this building.
I would put it in an elevator.
What?
What would you do? Put it in an elevator, a pulley.
Catapults were used a long time ago to destroy castles.
Oh.
Now do you understand?
I've seen them on the cartoon.
There you go.
You know, my favourite cartoon has it all the time.
Which one is that?
I don't think you want to know.
Yeah, it's better to keep that to yourself.
Monster
now.
9272.
I thought so, yeah.
Enters of the galaxies from the past.
How come I've never seen that cartoon, Pip?
Because it's for monsters and you are not a monster. How many times, Mr. Haidar?
Yes. Well, Nimrod built an enormous catapult to try to fling Ibrahim into the giant fire. So all the soldiers got together and they built this big, big catapult. And then they all got Ibrahim and forced him onto the catapult. They were very naughty indeed. And then they were just about to fling Ibrahim into the fire. The fire was so big and so grand that even the good people who believed in Prophet Ibrahim were too scared to try to go and help.
Oh.
That's right. Even all the good people, they didn't want to go near the fire.
Well, then that's not very good of them.
I know. Because they thought to themselves, Pip, well, even if I try to do something, I'm so small and insignificant that I couldn't possibly make a change. I couldn't possibly make a difference.
Yeah, that's right. I would have done the same. I'm only 6 years old at the end of the day. What would I have done to change that?
Maybe I'd have done the same thing as well. After all, the fire is so big, how's it possible for us to do anything?
You're right.
Even with 1,000 hoses and 1,000 fire brigades, maybe we couldn't have put out that fire.
That's because in those times they didn't have fire brigades.
Ah, yeah, good point, good point. But there was something, a creature of Allah, which did try to do something.
Really?
That's right. Can you guess what that creature was? I'll give you a clue. It had wings.
It had wings.
And it was an insect.
So it can't be a chicken.
No, it wasn't a chicken. That would have been quite pathetic anyway.
Wings, a grasshopper.
No.
I don't know.
It was a fly.
Fly.
A fly.
Choo,
A tiny,
choo.
tiny little fly. That fly flew back to its colony and said to them all, guys, guys, the Prophet Ibrahim is going to be burnt in the fire. We have to do something.
Oh, that's nice of him.
So all of these flies, about hundreds of them, all went to the pond, to this lake, and they each picked up a tiny little droplet of water in their tiny little hands, and they all swarmed towards the fire. And each one of those little flies tried to throw that tiny drop of water into the fire to try to put it out and save Prophet Ibrahim.
Well, that's a bit silly because they're so small. They're not going to make an impact.
Ah, but is it silly, Pip?
Yes. I just said it was.
Allah liked that action so much. Yes, really. Allah loved the flies for trying their hardest so much that He actually inspired those flies to create honey.
Oh, so bees were flies before.
Exactly. And Allah gave them inspiration to create honey.
Wow.
And the only reason Allah taught them to create honey is because of that attempt, that kind of trying to help that they did.
So, are you saying next time there's a fire, I should run in?
No.
Save
God
them,
no.
because
God
then
no.
I can
God,
make
God
honey.
no. Next time, if there's, God forbid, ever a fire in your house or anywhere else, dial 999. Okay? Call the fire brigade. But the point of the story, Pip, is that even if we feel like we're very small and we can't do anything, we should try our hardest to try and make a difference.
That's such a nice story. It's all about your intention.
I know.
What's in your heart?
You have
You
a
know
massive
what?
heart.
I do, and so do you. Not as big as your bow tie, but it's still big.
No.
Mr. Haidar,
How much did you like that story, Pip?
I really liked it. I think it deserves a salawat.
I think so too.
Don't you think so, children?
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Well, I'm going to definitely keep that in mind and remind myself that it doesn't matter how big the task is. If I remember Allah and do it to seek the pleasure of Allah, then He will always reward me. Well,
Absolutely, Pip.
I must go now and rest my hand for some time. Children, join us again on Pip and Friends. Ma salama.
Ma salama.